The galaxy had always whispered about humanity. The whispers began as curiosity, grew into caution, and eventually turned into fear. Humans had entered the Galactic Council late, centuries after most spacefaring species. They were fewer in number but far more unpredictable. To most alien civilizations, humans were strange, too emotional, too inventive, too stubborn to break. Yet as peace held between worlds, the galaxy slowly forgot the stories of Earth's wars, their resilience and their wrath. Until one day, a human girl was taken. Her name was Leah. She was 19, a student from Earth on a diplomatic exchange at the Galactic Academy on Ortion Prime. She represented the younger face of humanity, a symbol of cooperation. But to the Keth Dominion, a warlike empire resentful of humanity's growing influence, she was an opportunity. The Dominion's agents infiltrated the Academy's neutral sector, abducted Leah, and took her to a hidden facility beyond the borders of known space. No one knew what happened for 12 days. The Council pleaded for calm. The Dominion denied everything. But then a video leaked. It showed Leah restrained, injured, defiant even as her captors demanded she renounce Earth. She refused every time, her voice breaking but unyielding. Her last words in the recording were quiet and trembling, yet carried an unshakable strength. She said, "Humans don't kneel." When the footage reached Earth, silence fell across every city. Then came the order. The Terran Defense Directorate initiated Protocol Valkyrie, a classified operation unknown to the rest of the galaxy. No news outlet could trace where the command originated. It didn't come from a president, a general, or a council vote. It came from something deeper, an old promise made by humanity's soldiers long ago. No human left behind. Within 6 hours, 8 ships left Earth's orbit under black transponders. They were small, sleek, and silent, bearing no insignia. They didn't appear on any galactic registry. Each vessel carried 12 operatives known only by one name: warriors. No one outside Earth's upper military echelon knew who they were or where they came from. Some believed they were enhanced humans, products of genetic mastery and cybernetic perfection. Others whispered they were volunteers who had given up their identities to protect humanity's peace. The truth was simpler and darker. They were soldiers built not to start wars but to end them. Their commander was a man called Reed. No records of his birthplace existed. He had once served in the Outer Rim Defense Corps but disappeared after the Battle of Lyra's Gate. When he reappeared, he bore the black insignia of the Directorate. His eyes were steady, his movements precise, and his silence carried weight. His orders for the operation were short and clear. Recover the girl. Eliminate all responsible. The mission began at the edge of Dominion space. The facility, codenamed Station Carvex, orbited a dying red dwarf. It was hidden behind radiation storms and jamming fields, an old tactic meant to mask war crimes. But Earth's intelligence had mapped it precisely. The warriors arrived without warning, their ships cloaked in spectral dampeners that bent light and sound. Inside the lead ship, the warriors prepared in silence. They didn't speak much. They didn't need to. Years of training had carved them into perfect coordination. Armor of matte black composite wrapped around them, marked only by a single white stripe on the chest. A symbol of unity, not rank. Each carried pulse rifles and monoblades forged from a metal Earth had never shared with the galaxy. They moved like shadows given purpose. Reed stood before them as the ship drifted through the storm. His voice was calm when he spoke. "They think they broke her. They think we'll do nothing. Let's remind them who we are." No one answered, but every warrior nodded. The breach began silently. No alarms, no warnings. The outer hull of Station Carvex simply vanished into smoke as the warriors cut through with precision charges. They entered in formation, swift, controlled, merciless. Surveillance drones never had a chance to transmit. Guards fell before they could cry out. Every corridor was cleared methodically. The warriors moved room by room, guided by heat signatures and heartbeats. Within minutes, the facility's command center was under their control. Reed entered last, his steps echoing in the steel chamber. The Dominion officers inside were paralyzed with shock, unable to comprehend how humans had reached them undetected. Reed spoke once. "Where is she?" One officer stammered something about orders, but Reed didn't wait. His gauntlet pressed against the terminal, downloading every file, every name, every order that led to Leah's capture. Then he motioned to his team. Hold position. I'll find her. He moved through the dim corridors, the walls scorched by firefights. His visor tracked biosigns until one faint pulse appeared, a human heartbeat weak but steady. He forced open the last reinforced door and stepped into the cold light of the cell. Leah was there, unconscious, wrapped in restraints that hummed with energy fields. Her face was pale, her lips dry, but her breathing was alive. The sight froze him for a heartbeat, not because she was broken, but because she had endured. Reed disabled the restraints with a single command and lifted her gently. When her eyes flickered open, confusion filled them. She whispered, "You came." He nodded. "We always do." She tried to speak again, but exhaustion overtook her. He carried her back to the extraction point where the warriors had already secured the area. Outside the observation window, explosions rippled across the facility. The ships had deployed orbital kinetic rods, striking with silent fury. Each impact tore through layers of steel, ensuring nothing of the Dominion's operation survived. When they left the system, Station Carvex no longer existed, but Earth was not done. The files recovered from the Dominion base revealed far more than a single abduction. There were records of experiments on other humans, attempts to reverse engineer human biology for warfare, secret alliances within the Council that had turned a blind eye. The truth spread across Earth's networks like fire. The Directorate made the decision swiftly. The next phase was called Operation Judgment. For the first time in a century, Earth's fleet mobilized openly. Hundreds of ships, from stealth cruisers to orbital carriers, appeared along Dominion borders. The message was transmitted to every galactic channel in plain, unencrypted speech. "This is Earth, you hurt one of us. You face all of us." The Dominion tried to respond with threats. Their fleets assembled, their admirals confident in numbers. But they had never fought humans in full fury. The first engagement lasted 42 minutes. When it ended, 6 Dominion battlecruisers were drifting wrecks. Human ships fought differently. Faster, unpredictable, adapting mid-battle as if their pilots could read the enemy's mind. The warriors led boarding actions, striking command decks directly, leaving no survivors who ordered cruelty. Throughout it all, Leah recovered aboard the hospital vessel Hope's Edge. Doctors said her physical wounds would heal. The psychological scars might not. But when she asked to speak to Commander Reed, the Directorate allowed it. She met him in the observation deck overlooking the fleet. He stood silently, the blue of Earth's flag stitched on his shoulder. "You didn't have to come for me," she said quietly. He turned to her, his expression unreadable beneath the faint light. "We did," she hesitated. "Because of politics?" "No," he said. "Because you're human." Those words carried a weight no speech could match. Humanity was not perfect. They argued, fought, disagreed, but when one of their own was in danger, everything else stopped. That unity, born not of orders but of shared heart, was what made them feared. News of the Dominion's defeat spread quickly. Other powers watched in silence as Earth dismantled every facility linked to the abductions. No worlds were conquered. No planets burned. Once justice was done, Earth withdrew, leaving only a single broadcast across galactic frequencies. Never again. Weeks later, Leah stood at a ceremony on Earth's capital, still weak, but standing tall. The crowd gathered not to celebrate war, but to remember what it meant to be human. The Directorate remained in the shadows, its operatives unseen, but their existence was now legend. The galaxy began to whisper again, but this time, the tone was different. They spoke of humans not as fragile creatures of emotion, but as beings who could love so fiercely that even the stars trembled when one of them was harmed. Commander Reed watched from the distance, his duty complete. He had no name in the records, no honors to claim. His kind preferred silence. But in that silence, the galaxy learned its lesson. For every human diplomat, scientist, or colonist who reached for peace, there were warriors waiting behind them, unseen guardians forged in loyalty. When Leah later became an ambassador, she often told younger species about Earth's strength, not in weapons or fleets, but in unity. She ended her speeches the same way every time. "They say humans are dangerous. That's true. But we're only dangerous to those who forget that mercy has limits." And across the stars, whenever a human freighter entered foreign space, no one dared to intercept it again. The mark of Earth had become a promise: peace when respected, vengeance when provoked. Years passed. The galaxy changed. Alliances shifted, empires fell, and new species joined the council. But the story of the girl and the warriors endured. It became more than history. It became warning and hope alike. Because every world knew that somewhere in the dark, the black ship still waited, silent, watchful, and ready to rise when humanity's call came again. For humans might seek peace, but they